I think we're live on air, but I'm waiting for that delay to stop so we can actually start this damn program the right way without having that stupid shit happens that always does. All right, fantastic. I paused it, and boom. Hey, welcome everyone to the Red Cup Review. It's Saturday night at 8 o'clock, and we are live. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Tonight is going to be a spoiler-filled episode. So if you didn't see Avengers Endgame, don't watch the show because we're going to be talking all about Avengers Endgame. We're going to do a retrospective. So we're going to have a lot of cool things to show you guys and stuff. I don't know why it still says for waiting. It shouldn't say for waiting. It should say on the show. Okay, hey, there he goes. Hey, James Belk, what's going on, buddy? How are you? All right, so I hope you guys seen Avengers Endgame. If not, this is not the thing for you. There you go. You've had your spoiler warnings, and that's it. We're going to be doing a retrospective on that, and then a little later on the show, if we have time, we're going to be talking some Game of Thrones and the Battle of Winterfell and how that fell apart, in my opinion, that is. Anyways, okay, so what's up, Baz?
What's up, man? How you doing, bro?
Nothing much. Thanks for joining me tonight.
Nah, that's all right. I got nothing else better to do. I got no life.
Awesome.
Actually, I do, because I went to see Judas Priest last night, and that was amazing.
There you go. So that's actually a lot cooler than what I did last night, which was go to bed at 8 o'clock for work in the morning.
Yeah, that's pretty lame. Dude, I had the best friggin' seats I've ever had for a concert in my friggin' life.
Really?
I was on the floor, 12th row. So I was
insane.
like right there. It was amazing. And that's for one of the greatest heavy metal bands of all time. You know, I mean, there's Judas Priest, there's Iron Maiden, there's Black Sabbath, you know. So, and you can put Metallica up there, but they're from a little bit, they're a little bit, of a younger band than Priest. But
they're a little young. They're only 30-something years old now. They're a much younger band. All right, Edwin Diaz is in the chat. What's up, Edwin? Always good to see you. Thank you very much for joining us. Kev's Matrix, James Belk. Hello, everyone. Okay, so we're going to be talking Avengers stuff. Baz, what'd you think of Endgame? Spoil away. I saw it. Everyone in the chat hopefully saw it.
Well, it was like, it was an end game. It was an ending for the past 11 years of this great cinematic run for Marvel. I don't know. I was thinking about it today, if it was as good as Infinity War, and I don't think so. I think Infinity War was a little bit more of a tighter movie. I thought the end game could have been a little bit shorter. What do you think?
I think that if it was going to go any shorter, they would have. I'm trying to think of what parts they could have possibly have cut out because they really wanted to send home spoilers. Everyone, time to bounce if you haven't seen the movie. Last chance. What are you going to cut out? You're going to cut out the emotional stuff. You're going to cut out all the repercussions of they spent the whole first hour and a half of the movie just showing you how heavy and serious this was and how final it was. And I really like that. I like the idea that maybe they uploaded the movie too much up front with just the drama and saved all the action for the end. But really, where are they supposed to go without cutting the legs out from under Infinity War, without showing you how horrible it is to lose a parent, be away from your daughter, get stuck in the hey, what's up, Rob? Just a fan. Ant-Man was stuck in that microverse, and then he comes out, and that was the first time I kind of cried during the movie was when I saw Ant-Man get reunited with his daughter, who is now 16.
That was the one time I held back a tear.
Yeah, that
I thought it. Yeah,
I thought it too. I was doing one of those.
Because that was Ant-Man's biggest thing in his two movies was the love of his daughter, right?
Yeah,
they really stressed that.
Their whole deal and stuff. So that was rough. So theoretically, what could you possibly cut out? Oh, before we even get into that, guys, make sure you like the video if you're in here, and obviously write your favorite moments from the movie too, and I'll periodically check the chat and try to involve you guys as much as possible. So, you had that scene, you had showing you that Black Widow, her whole setup to when she gets, again, spoilers abound. Are you basing your review off of Back to the Future time traveling? No. Rhino Max Payne. I never seen him in the chat before. Yo, what's up, brother? Thanks for joining us.
Did you expect that Scarlet? Which one?
No, I thought
Johansson.
I thought Hawkeye was going. Oh, and I also this is another thing. I want to thank everybody for tossing that spoiler guy last week. I appreciate it. You guys are the best. I wrote a post to everybody on Facebook thanking you personally for that because I can't really do both at once, and I'm trying to like give you guys a little bit of stuff to see so the computer's away from me. That guy, did spoil a little bit last week, and that was kind of messed up. But this week, you have all been warned. Spoilers abound.
So you did see it.
You
did see when he said Black Widow died.
No, I didn't see that. I saw when he wrote Iron Man dies, but I had kind of thought he was going to die.
Yeah, everyone
anyway, so
figured that.
That didn't bother me. But all right. Anyway, so they spent a lot of time with Black Widow for her sacrifice at the end, and they show you like. When Cap's like, you need to get a life. And she's like, Cap, this is my life. So she's been holding down the Avengers and kind of trying to keep her friends together. And that's her family. And that's the thing she loves the most. So when she sacrifices herself for Hawkeye's family, which is her like number one love, that's what I got out of that scene. And for her actual friends to succeed because she didn't have anything, perfect setup to her sacrifice later on. So I don't know what you could possibly cut out of this movie to kind of have the emotional impact that it needed to have.
Yeah, well, it was. I still think Infinity War is a better movie, but this was an ending, so it did its job. I don't know. I just feel like I saw a lot of this stuff already. Like that big ending battle at the end, that was, it was cool. I mean, especially what happened with Thor and not Thor. I mean, Captain America picking up Thor's hammer. That was excellent.
That was friggin' insane. That was the one time during the movie when everybody started coming out of the portals.
Yeah,
that's when I actually started crying. Not like, but I was like tears were coming down because I was like, I can't believe I'm actually watching this.
I remember. I kind of had that feeling with an Infinity War, like that big ending battle scene. Like, so this wasn't a movie at first. It was just a movie to wrap things up,
right?
And therefore, it kind of like suffers a little bit, as in like Infinity War was like, oh my god, like this was the first time you were seeing a lot of this stuff, these big, massive battles between Marvel characters.
I got that way.
You know what I mean?
I remember seeing Civil War for the first time and seeing the tarmac scene and being completely like, I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm living through this. And then when I saw the scene in this movie with everyone, like, I mean, dude, there was every freaking character was there. And again, like Leia, last movie was good. Last movie was probably the better movie. And I'll get to that in a second. But I was completely blown away by this. And I was like, I can't believe I'm literally watching a giant splash page, like even upping the game even more than what Civil War did. And to me, it was upping the game even more than what the last movie did.
How cool was it, like going back to the Battle of Manhattan and seeing those extra scenes that filled in that, from the first movie that filled in.
We had a conversation earlier in the week, and I believe you said that, was it you that said that they felt like extra, like bonus scenes almost? No, I was talking to Frankie Fearless, and he was like, it felt like he was watching like the movies over again with extra scenes added into them.
Yeah,
right. Like
it fleshed it out.
You got
more of it.
The scene where Thor talks to his mother made me like the second Thor movie more now, and that brought tears to my eyes too. I was choking back the tears at that point too when she was like, you have to kind of fulfill your destiny. It's all right, and he was like, I can't like leave you and shit, and she was like, I was raised by witches. I know you're not my real son, but you are my son. And she's giving him the advice. That totally got me fucking. I was like, that's a great moment to have her come back, to have Thor kind of get back up on the horse and, come on, man, put your big boy pants on. Rob Just a Fan writes, also, Howard the Duck had a cameo. Yes, I had to catch that after the fact. I was too wrapped up in the moment.
What cameo?
Yeah, Howard the Duck was in the movie.
He was?
When all the portals opened and they were panning towards everybody, he was standing there with one of like a Rocket Raccoon type like blast.
Oh my god, I gotta see that.
So yeah, exactly, bro. It's like one of those movies you're gonna watch again and again.
What do you think about old? What do you think about current Cap versus young Cap from Avengers 1?
It was cool. It was really cool scene. I don't like these characters versus themselves. I hated it when they did it in Logan. but they did it with a little bit of tongue-in-cheek kind of funniness in this movie a little bit, and I didn't kind of mind it because it was funny to see Cap coming face to face with Cap, because Captain America would be on where's the briefcase, like he would know, or what I'm saying, like Cap would be following that, and then he comes face to face with himself and thinks it's Loki.
What's with that America's ass? That joke didn't work for me. Like, I don't think like Tony Stark would point out how Captain America's ass looks in costume. That's weird.
That's like for girls, bro.
That's for the girls.
That doesn't play to the male demographic. It's supposed
that's
to be
why
like
they
a
need to get out of
chuckle,
our
and
hobby,
then it's plays for the girls.
Yeah, that's why girls gotta go.
Edwin Diaz says Howard the Duck comes out with the Ravagers. That's awesome. So I'm gonna really have to see this again. Hail Hydra, so many good moments. Robert, just a fan. Yeah, that was great. He's like, how are you? He's like, Hail Hydra.
Speaking of Hail Hydra, this is Hydra Cap.
Oh, nice.
I picked him up.
Is that a new Marvel Legend?
Yeah, he comes with Arnim Zola. But yeah, he's cool. Dig him. 2-pack.
Awesome.
But okay, so yeah, all right. Forget about comparisons to Infinity War. I'm sorry I brought that up.
Well, no,
I like the movie.
I think that Infinity War, I think, was a more fun movie, if that's even a thing, because there's so much depressing shit that even happens in that movie. And I think that that was more of like the fun action movie, and this movie had like more emotional shit going on in it. Like, I like this.
Yeah,
this movie was more touching to me and hit me on an emotional level, whereas the last movie was more like kick-ass fun, maybe more repeat viewings.
Yeah, it may be easier to watch again, Infinity War, than this one.
Exactly. I don't know if I'm gonna really want to sit. I'm gonna find myself going to. I really want to sit through an hour and a half of this depressing shit again.
Oh, how great was Nebula? I'm really glad she was like a central part of the story. I mean, she's actually a big part of the story in the comics too, in the Infinity War. So
yeah, she was she even put the glove on. I was waiting for her to put the glove on in the movie, because she did that in the comic. Rob Just a Fan says Hydra Cap. Did he have a mouthpiece? Don't remember in the comics.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, when he fights the real Captain America at the end in the book.
So I don't know. My favorite part of the movie was probably Cap lifting the hammer and going toe to toe with Thanos with it. I thought that was great.
And he really knew how to use it. I mean, he was spinning it. He was calling down lightning.
Yeah, it was freaking awesome.
Yeah, using his shield with it, bouncing it off his shield. It was crazy.
I think that let's see. Edwin Diaz says favorite scene was when Old Man Cap came back after finally living his life. Yeah, man. Yeah, that was that was very bittersweet and very, very, very classy and well done. Just beyond, man.
All right, let's talk about that, because now the way that time travel works in this movie is that it actually creates splintered timelines. So when Cap went back and stayed at the end of the movie and lived out his life, that created an alternate timeline. So Cap found out a way to come back to the original timeline that he started in and talk to Bucky and Falcon.
Yes, exactly. A lot of people are complaining about like, plot holes in this movie, and how could Cap end up back then, and he would have went back in time and it would have erased everything, and how did he get a shield?
That's not how it works. Yeah.
That's not how it works. Hulk draws it on a piece of paper for you, but in midair he draws it talking to the Ancient One to show you.
Yeah, it's not like in the Back to the Future where you go back in time and you could change things. The Hulk actually says that you can't change anything. It creates a alternate timeline. I think the Ancient One also said that as well.
Said what? I'm sorry, I was looking at the chat.
Well, that's the Ancient One was saying that. That's why Cap had to go back and replace the the Infinity Gems,
right?
Because otherwise her timeline would cease to be or something.
Exactly. So if they replace them at that exact moment that they give them up, then it just continues business as usual in the Marvel Cinematic Universe proper, we'll call it. There was a point in the movie, I forgot who it was, where a bunch of Pym particles, Tony does it. He robs a bunch of Pym particles.
Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't he go back and he grabs a fucking handful of them when he's in that bunker. So they have enough of that, enough of the Pym particles to do whatever the hell they need to. And now they use the snapback. I'm sure, and Pym's working with them obviously a little bit. I mean, I'm sure he must have had some kind of involvement behind the scenes with the after effects of all the shit that was going on. So
now you have like Loki, Loki, what you call it, who he took the space gem or something and then disappeared with that. So that's probably going to continue in Loki's series on the Disney
TV
network.
show, yeah, the Disney channel. Frankie Fearless, what's up, brother? So whose shield was that since Cap broke his? Okay, so Cap's shield breaks. He goes back in time. He drops off Thor's hammer. He gives back the Infinity Stone, right? He does all that shit that he's supposed to do. Now, how does he get that shield back to the proper part of to the Marvel Cinematic Universe proper? We'll call it like Timeline 1. So Timeline 1, how does he have a shield there? And when he's like when he gives it to Falcon, doesn't Falcon say something? He's like, how does it feel? And he's like I'm wearing something that doesn't belong to me. Doesn't Cap say something to him like, but it does, or but it doesn't belong to me either? Like he says something to him there. I forgot what it was.
No, it didn't. No, it wasn't anything like that.
Yeah, he was like, I'm trying this on. He's like, how does it feel? And he's like it doesn't belong to me. Like I'm wearing somebody else's. Something like I'm like it's not mine. And Cap says something to him right there. That's like it's not like Cap's
it's not his either.
Like it's not his either, kind of.
Okay, all right. I have to look back.
Something along those lines. I don't remember exactly what it was. I'm gonna have to rewatch that scene of the movie and get back to everybody on that, unless somebody else, comes to mind.
What I did love is that when Falcon goes, "I'll do my best," and then Cap goes, "That's why it's yours," because Falcon showed humility. "I'll do my best." You know what I mean? So I thought that was a great interaction between the two.
You know, it was a wonderful send off, and I don't mind him having it's weird. Like in the comics, it didn't even annoy me in the comics that much when Falcon became Captain America. It was just that whole time period of everybody checking off the progressive boxes,
and it wasn't written well either. And the actor who plays Falcon in this is excellent, I think.
Rob Josephan says, how does it feel like it's somebody else's? And then he says it isn't. Right? So does that mean that that shield is really Falcon? So in that, we'll say Marvel Cinematic Universe Timeline B, which is the timeline that Cap lives out with Peggy Carter, is the Captain America in that timeline Falcon? Is it Falcon's shield? In other words, like, I'm coming to return your shield. And he's like, what the hell is this? And I think we're going to find that out in the Falcon and Bucky show.
Yeah, the Russo brothers said they're gonna. There's more stories to come about all this. They're gonna flesh this out. So
exactly. So it's like not everything's totally answered just yet. Kev's Matrix writes, so do we see an old Cap 1/6 release exclusive? I ordered Cap Endgame. Oh, you ordered the Endgame Cap. Oh, do you have any other caps, Kev? Because if you have any other caps, it's pretty crazy, bro, especially at that price point.
Hey, Uncle Frankie.
It's Baz, and Frankie's in the chat room.
Hey, Uncle Frankie. I know you're in the chat. I am right now.
Yeah, great. Little man's watching right now, and he's kind of on his iPad listening and watching at the same time and stuff. So he says, what's up? Frankie Fearless, what's up from the little man? Just 4 exclusives. I would like to, I would probably buy that. Unfortunately, it would probably be like a glorified kit bash because it's just going to be an old dude with an old Cap face in like regular people's clothes with like a shield. But I might do that. So I might buy a bench aftermarket and have him kind of sitting on the bench as like old Cap. That would be a pretty freaking awesome thing. But I don't think Hot Toys is going to do that, dude. However, now that they ain't making any more Iron Man figures, who the hell knows, where they're going to go back and forth to the well 100,000 times for this stuff. Speaking of Hot Toys, Baz, and this has to do with what we're talking about kind of real quick, and I was supposed to mention this on last week's show. I have here on my phone, I'm going to read an article to everybody, okay, from a gentleman who I'm not going to say their name because they're Facebook, not a friend of mine on Facebook, but a person from Facebook, so I stole this from them. And this is from the 1/6 Republic page. It says, a recent video by Business Focus featuring an interview with in Cantonese by Howard Chan. For those who don't know, Howard Chan is the head of Hot Toys. He will answer 2 common issues brought up regularly by collectors. Question number 1, why do Hot Toys make so many Iron Man figures? And question number 2, why do Hot Toys make so many Marvel figures? Okay, so here it goes. Answer to number 1. This is from Howard Chan, the head of Hot Toys. The recently released Iron Man Mark 50 had pre-orders over tens of thousands of pieces. This may indicate most of the recent hero armors like 42, 43, 45, 46, etc. It would probably be in all of those would also be in that ballpark. So every Iron Man release sells in the tens of thousands range. There's your answer.
Yeah.
I think it is no surprise that Iron Man is their most successful line. This is obviously not from Howard now. They bought the Iron Man license before the film was released, so was a big gamble as they didn't know it would be successful. Looked at some recent licenses like Tomorrowland and Valerian, which the licenses were abandoned immediately because they probably didn't have enough pre-orders and stuff for that. So every time an Iron Man figure goes up for pre-order and we all groan collectively, tens of thousands. That's
Hold
not
on.
10,000.
Tomorrowland? Is that
Yeah,
movie with
they
Clooney?
they had it for Tomorrowland and they just let it go. They didn't even produce a figure for it.
They were just gonna make Clooney in regular clothes or something?
Who the hell knows, man? I know that's what like a lot of these companies do is that they'll just buy IPs, intellectual properties, and see
Right.
where the movie goes, and then just make a figure based on it.
That was a pretty good movie though, but I wouldn't buy figures of it.
Question
$200
number
figures.
2, Kevin Feige, this is from Howard now, is a Hot Toys collector, and so must have been super excited to have his very own Hot Toys figure made of him. So Howard Chan made Kevin Feige a hot toy of him. He told Howard that when Marvel are making a film, he wonders how Hot Toys can make certain figures from those films. Point 2 would indicate that Marvel and Hot Toys have a very good working relationship with licensing and figures from Marvel films, since the president of Marvel himself supports Hot Toys, and they don't think that DC does the same thing. So Warner Brothers and DC don't have the same type of relationship that Marvel went and has, because apparently Howard Chan is very good friends with Kevin Feige, and that's why you have a million Marvel toys, Hot Toys, and a million different variations of Iron Man. Because if this thing's sold tens of thousands, not 10,000, tens of thousands, so you're talking at $450 to $500 a piece. That's why Hot Toys is the king of the world right now. But this is kind of coming to an ending. So who knows where they're going to go now. Obviously, they'll continue to make Marvel figures, but obviously Iron Man, the big seller, is going to make its way off the board. Rob Solo says, because they sell. Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of how it goes. Wish cheaper Iron Man versions. 400 is very steep from Mark 85. Yeah, word. This is my Iron Man. Every time someone writes like, hey, what's your favorite Iron Man? Mark 6. Although I may, not for scalper reasons, but I may, if they do come out with it, but get Mark 1, because I regret not getting the Mark 1 2.0. So I may get the diecast Mark 1, depending on the price. And I'll hold on to it for a little bit and just see how it kind of fits in the collection, so I could have like my favorite armor and my like the one that started it all in the collection and see where that goes. But there's only so much room down here in the room. Okay, back to Endgame. So was this a satisfying conclusion for you?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, what I was really dying for was Cap with the holding up the hammer. Iron Man dying. Yeah, it like signifies like an ending for this chapter of the Marvel Universe, and it's kind of sad to see him go. But I mean, he's got to hang it up sometime, right? I don't know how well do you see the MCU going forward without him?
I think he's kind of the linchpin into a lot of the MCU, man. I mean, there are
Yeah.
movies that are really good without him. Guardians of the Galaxy, the Ant-Man movies, Doctor Strange, all great movies. But he's really like, if there's no him, there's no Marvel Cinematic Universe at all. It's like it begins and ends with Iron Man, kind of. So.
I think Guardians could go off on its own,
Well, Guardians has Thor now too. Thor is going to be.
Yeah.
In Guardians of the Galaxy. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool way to kind of like send Thor off and give him like something else and new to do.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was.
I heard, by the way, they're gonna introduce Beta Ray Bill and Quasar.
Yeah, I heard that
in the
too.
next Guardians.
Yeah, there's a Beta Ray Bill. He's gonna be in the next Guardians movie, so that's pretty freaking awesome too. it'll be cool to see him and Thor. So it'll make sense that Thor's on the team, so you can have like an interaction between him and Beta Ray Bill. I think that'd be pretty cool.
But if they do more movies like Captain Marvel, and they do Squirrel Girl, and they have this whole feminized version of Marvel, and they make that its main brand, then I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's leaning towards that in a lot of ways. I mean, Valkyrie's now in charge of Asgard. You're gonna have, Hawkeye's daughter being and Ant-Man's daughter is gonna be adventuring him with now. This is just the time of the girls, man. This is it. It's what's hot right now. So this is what they're gonna push. It's not hot in terms of like comics getting shits like that, but this is like just where they're freaking going. Rob, come on, Fantastic Four and X-Men. X-Men's not going to be around for another 5 years. Who knows when the Fantastic Four are coming? But please, for the love of God, if I was them, I would make Sue Storm the new face of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and just get this Captain Marvel character the fuck out of here.
Did you see that terrible movie yet?
No, I'm not going to see it until it's like on Netflix or something.
Oh, I can't wait until you tear it apart.
Rob just fan wrote, shocked the Pyms are at the funeral. The Pyms hated Stark. Yeah, they did, but at the same time, they kind of realized that maybe this Stark wasn't the father Stark because he did kind of save the universe and like
he did a little something like save the universe.
So it's like they're not going to hold on to a stupid ass grudge over money and intellectual.
Speaking of the Pyms, I picked this up the other day also. The 2-pack for Yellow Jacket and Ant-Man.
Nice. You plan on taking it out?
Yeah. I just haven't gotten around to it.
That's freaking awesome. Yeah. Good pickups this week, man. I didn't have any pickups this week. Oh, here's another thing. There's a contest going on right now at the Red Cup Review. So if you guys want to enter that contest, some of you guys haven't, unless you're just not interested. That's cool too. We're giving away a Batman hard act statue from Diamond Select, and accompanying that are 3 original drawings on hard card stock from Batman the Animated Series of Scarecrow, Riddler, and Joker. I've shown them off on the Red Cup Review live here before, and that's from the artist that joined us a couple of months back, Jesus Marquez. So you're getting original artwork from him, all 3 of them, and the Batman statue. And all you got to do is watch the video and like it and comment under it. That's all you got to do. And then I'm going to do the randomizer, I think, on Tuesday is when it ends. Rob Just a Fan says the real hero is the rat. What the hell's the rat?
The rat who accidentally knocked over, who flicked a switch on Pym's machine that brought out Ant-Man.
Oh, yeah. Funny.
Yeah.
Kev's Matrix. Sideshow Jabba due Monday, and my Empire Hot Toys Vader is due the day after. May the 4th is with me. Very stoked. Here's very cool. 1, 2. Here's the situation with Sideshow. There's 2 rumors circulating in Sideshow right now. One of them being that Sideshow Susan may not be with them much longer. There is rumors that she is not going to be doing the representing for Sideshow going forward. I don't know who it could possibly be. There's rumors of some guy from 1/6 Society that everyone hates that might take over because he's like a huge Hot Toys and Sideshow sycophant, and he runs his like Facebook page like a Nazi or something. To the best of my knowledge, I don't know. I'm not part of the page, but this is like what I gather from the multiple comments that I was seeing about this. So Sideshow Susan, we don't know yet, but she may be leaving on her own accord, or they may be moving in another direction, or she may be getting promoted in the company or something like that. But don't be surprised if we don't see her too much longer representing Sideshow. Yeah, that's just a rumor right now. I like Susan too. She's mad cool, but this is just a rumor. I don't want to be the guy that spread the rumor, but don't be surprised if it happens. The Sideshow Just a Poser guy isn't going to be him. I hope it's not. It's not him. That's he's on Facebook too. I know I don't know him, but I've been in like conversations with him on Facebook. It's not going to be that guy. That's going to be like strictly their poser guy. It's like the person that's gonna be doing their live shows and their unboxings and all that. And if they go with the guy that I keep hearing that it is, not a good move. I hate to say this, but they really ought to get another girl to do it. She's not too easy. She's easy on the eyes, Susan. She's not, she's easy on the eyes, and she's very enthusiastic, and she's very relatable and likable. So she's going to be a hard one to replace. Other Sideshow news. Star Wars stuff. They haven't been releasing or talking about anything Star Wars. People are speculating now that Sideshow may have lost the license to to Star Wars. So you may not be seeing after this Jabba the Hutt any more Star Wars figures coming from Sideshow or statues. So that's something else to watch out for. Personally, I highly doubt it, but it's entirely possible that Sideshow is done doing Star Wars stuff. So don't be surprised if that happens. Also, anyone else see Sideshow Cap? No, I haven't. Sideshow's figures I'm like super picky with. Those are kind of the only two that I have in the collection, really. I'm like super picky with their stuff. I got their original Batman. I had Batman. I had Catwoman. I had Harley Quinn. I sold them all. Release. I thought he was gonna say Hot Toys, Jabba release, or Grievous. Okay, releases. Grievous releases. Oh, okay. And then does toy reviews and parodies. Does toy reviews and parodies what? Let's see. Get Laura. I'll get Laura Legends. She's cool. Yeah, I don't know who Laura Legends is. I do know Laura. She's upstairs with the kids right now. I don't know who Laura Legends is though. Anyways, anything else to say, Mr. Amazing Larry, about Avengers Endgame? Because we're gonna do a little quick retrospective on the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Where would you rank it, like in terms of Avengers movies?
Endgame?
Yeah.
In terms of the 4 Avengers movies?
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely the most emotional. It's the heaviest. It's probably the least fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so fun factor 4th, emotional impact 1st. What do I like the most? That's a really hard question for me. I'm gonna have to sleep on that a little bit because you're talking to a guy who really liked Age of Ultron. Like I really liked Age of Ultron, and I also liked Iron Man 2. So I'm in that like super majority where like all those movies suck, and I kind of like those movies. So
Yeah, I don't see why people shit on Age of Ultron.
I
Maybe because Ultron wasn't. I don't know. Ultron didn't like live up to my idea of him from the comics. I didn't see Ultron as like kind of like a sarcastic kind of version of Tony Stark. You know,
that's what he was.
He was more
had
like
Tony Stark's
yeah.
you know, on his computer and shit. So let's see. Rob Just a Fan writes Endgame #1, Infinity War #2, Civil War. He counts that as an Avengers movie. That's cool. Avengers 1. And yeah, it really is. Captain America 3 is really like Avengers 3. And then Infinity War and Endgame are like really 4 and 5 kind of.
I have the first Avengers at #1. Then I'd probably put Infinity War at #2. Then Age of Ultron, and then this one.
Oh, so this was your least favorite?
Yeah.
Right. Is this your least favorite?
It's my least favorite because it's more of like something that is that serves a purpose. It's an ending. You know what I mean? More than an actual movie that just stands on its own.
Right. Okay.
You know,
it needs the other movies to kind of like.
Yeah, so much so. Yeah, it's a wrap up.
No, but did you really expect this movie to be anything other than a wrap up? I mean, it had to wrap up 22 movies, and it wrapped up all 22 freaking movies. I mean, the Russo brothers need to be enshrined for doing what they were able to do with juggling as many actors and characters as they did, and have the amount of emotional impact that this movie had, and wrap up 22 movies. Man, that's insane to have callbacks to almost every movie.
Yeah,
you know, in one way or another. That's crazy. All right, I'm bringing it up now.
But mind you, all of them are awesome. I love all of them.
Yeah, it really is. It's not like to say one over the other is not really like to kind of like downgrade anyone over the other. Okay.
What about the Marvel Legends, the 80th anniversary? You got what you call it? They're based on Alex Ross's art.
Oh, nice.
This is the Iron Man.
Let's see. Hold on. Click it up. There you go. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So you got Iron Man. You got the Tony Stark head, which is nice, like
cool. Old school comic.
Old school. Yeah, Tony Stark without the goatee, just more of the mustache kind of guy.
Nice. I like the blast effects.
Then you got Cap. He's got he's got 2 heads. The other head kind of looks similar to the first one, so I can see the big deal.
Yeah, it is a little weird.
Okay, then you got an old school Thor. Bang.
Oh,
He's
that's
got
like that looks real old school. Yeah.
yeah. So it's the original three, in their old school 60s outfits.
That's cool. They definitely look. I think Iron Man looks the best, but those all look good.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite phase. Let's go. Favorite phase in the cinematic universe. Right. You got phase 1 is Iron Man, the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America: The First Avenger, and then Avengers. That's phase 1.
Mm-hmm.
Phase 2 is Iron Man 3, Thor: The Dark World, Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Age of Ultron, and Ant-Man. And then phase 2. Phase 3 is Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians 2, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Ragnarok, Black Panther, Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Endgame, and Captain Marvel.
It's impossible to pick that. You can pick a favorite
Favorite
phase.
phase. My favorite phase is the third phase because I just love Spider-Man so much. I love Doctor Strange. I loved Civil War. But all right. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go through all the movies real quick and just say something cool about each movie. Iron Man 1. What set it all off is still probably one of my favorite movies out of the whole cinematic universe. I thought it was excellently well done. I think it's on par with the first Superman movie from the 70s. I think it's a near perfect movie, and I think it introduces the characters perfectly.
That fucking ending where he goes, "I am Iron Man," and he just destroys the whole idea of secret identities for superheroes. And he comes out, he's like, "Fuck you, I'm Tony Stark. Yeah, I am Iron Man." And then you hear, and friggin' Black Sabbath plays, and the end credits, and like that was just an awesome feeling. And then, of course, the first end credit scene with friggin' Nick Fury. Which I mean, listen, honestly, the Ultimates from Marvel Comics set up a large part of this cinematic universe.
Yes, it did.
With their treatment of the Avengers.
I think the cinematic universe is kind of the marriage between 616 and the Ultimate Universe, pretty much.
Yeah, because in that they paired off Hawkeye and Black Widow in that comic book series too.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you remember?
Yep. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to reread that again too. I got it sitting right over there.
Mm-hmm. And Tony Stark's really braggadocious, kind of like arrogant attitude was really put on display in that series also, even more so. So, yeah.
All right, Iron Man 1, excellent, huge thumbs way up. The Incredible Hulk, thumbs in the middle for me. Not a lot of rewatchability. Obviously, this was with Ed Norton. Pretty cool movie. I didn't really like the way the Hulk looked in that movie, like all ripped and super shredded. I like the Avengers Hulk more, that look. But so this is kind of thumbs in the middle.
Yo, that fight with Abomination was fucking awesome, man. When he thunderclaps, boom.
Yeah.
And then I think for the first time he says Hulk smash in that.
Nice.
Like I was like screaming like I was at a concert during that fight when that happened. So it was the first Hulk smash, the first thunderclap, so yeah, I enjoyed it.
All right, so thumbs up for you. Good. All right, Iron Man 2, thumbs up for me. I love that movie. Throw tomatoes at me later on. I just like it has my favorite armor in it. I like the idea of him and Rhodey working together. And I just love Mickey Rourke, even though he was too super shortchanged in the movie. But my favorite villain, one of my favorite characters in that movie was Justin Hammer. I love the actor. So
yeah, it was kind of like a little bit long in the middle. It got kind of boring in the middle, and Mickey Rourke was shortchanged. Whiplash, those fights with Whiplash were like way too quick, and I don't think he was set up as a really good villain. But no, it was still a good movie. You got to see Black Widow. I mean, that was her first movie.
Yes,
that was cool. And it's more Tony Stark, bro. I could just watch Tony Stark just like hanging out, in his living room.
That's
like,
why I don't mind that movie. It's like I like watching him like when he was boxing. What's his face? They're doing the little boxing.
Happy,
thing.
yeah,
Happy and shit. It was just I don't know. It's cool character moments. All right, Thor 1, thumbs 3/4 of the way up. I kind of liked it. I thought it was fun, funny. The fish out of the water stuff worked very well. I love the Warriors 3 in it, and it made Thor work. And this was my second favorite Thor movie. To an extent.
Dude, it introduced us to friggin' Chris Hemsworth's Thor. Loki was excellent. Odin, Anthony Hopkins, come on. But I thought the ending was anticlimactic. Like I was looking for. I thought like there was going to be some big battle with the friggin' frost giants, and it turned out it was like they fought one frost giant and Thor fought Loki on the Rainbow Bridge. It was a little, and then his fight with the Destroyer was like over before it started.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think that was because of budget reasons. Those movies were they didn't really. That's why they made money, because they kept the budget down.
Yep. Yeah, it worked fine. Captain America: The First Avenger. I'm going to say thumbs halfway to 3/4 of the way up. I actually really like the way this movie was directed. I know me and you have split on this at times in the past. And it obviously, I just thought the character moments were absolutely wonderful. And for a time period piece, I thought it worked great.
Yeah, I loved the origin. It was excellent. Wasn't so happy with the second half of the movie, but it was still a solid movie.
Avengers, thumbs way up.
Yeah, might be the greatest comic book movie of all time. Period.
Yeah, that's like that movie was just this. I'm just gonna keep it moving. Iron Man 3 gets a huge thumbs down from a lot of the people out there. A lot of people hated it for whatever reason because of the Mandarin. Because now all of a sudden everybody's a goddamn Mandarin fan. All these Mandarin fans showed up. I didn't know the world was filled with Mandarin fans.
Mandarin sucks.
Whatever. It was an awesome Tony Stark movie. I was discussing this with Frankie Fearless this week. Iron Man 3 was Tony Stark's movie. Yeah. So it seems like we were discussing what they did with Professor Hulk in the new movie. And it was like, oh, Hulk was kind of meh. Why didn't we get to see him smash again? Because you got to see him smash in Avengers 1, The Incredible Hulk, Avengers 2. That's why he even makes the joke like, oh, this is redundant. He smashes in Ragnarok. You get to see him fight. They're trying to show you different aspects and keeping things fresh. So when I first saw Iron Man 3, I didn't like it that much because I wanted more Iron Man 2. But now that I got more Iron Man in other movies, I have a much greater appreciation for Iron Man 3.
He got to use all those different armors at the end. It presented like a challenge to him, being without his armors. So it was like, you got to see that Iron Man is actually Tony Stark. It's Tony Stark, not Iron Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tony Stark is the main component of that suit.
Yes.
So
I thought that it was done well. Thor: The Dark World, very forgettable. I don't really remember that much about the movie. It took Endgame to re-jog my memory of the movie. I remember watching it and going, okay, that was all right. It was good.
It was just okay.
I wasn't not entertained by it. I was just kind of forgettable, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, way up
there with the Avengers, the first one.
Yeah, that movie was just absolutely incredible. Favorite scene from that movie?
Oh man, the elevator scene.
Elevator scene. Yeah. Okay. So there's really not much to talk about with that besides the fact that it was fantastic. I think that my favorite scene of that is probably when he fights Bucky in the street for the first time and they come face to face and he's like dropping the knife and trying to gut Caps out of the outfit. Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Surprise, surprise. I think that was the biggest surprise of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Thumbs way up for me. Love it. Love the soundtrack. And I think that movie is it's the perfect way to show somebody how much a soundtrack actually matters to to a movie. Like that soundtrack is perfectly married to that movie, and I think it enhances the movie. Like,
it's a part of the narrative. It's a part of the main character, Star-Lord. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's like the music itself is its own character in the movie.
Yeah.
Nice, dancing group. Don't play it too much. They might shut us down. All right. Age of Ultron. I loved it. It was fun. It was a smash 'em up. It was good. It was just good to see the Avengers just beating the shit out of robots for fucking 2 hours.
Dude, freaking, we got to see the Hulk Buster versus the Hulk, man.
Yeah, that was great.
And an excellent Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch was good. Hawkeye was great in that movie. The movie was just a lot of cool moments in it. So it's not like a perfect film the way Winter Soldier was, but it was just a very fun popcorn movie, and I thought it did its job.
Vision. We got to see the Vision.
See Vision, yeah, there was a lot of really good moments.
That hammer scene where he hands him the hammer.
Yeah, we got to get out of here. Here's your hammer. Ant-Man, very underrated. great movie, fun, laugh out loud, enjoyable, very relatable. I could give a shit
Friggin'
less about Ant-Man as a character in the comics. Absolutely love him in the movies.
I love Ant-Man. That's up there with like Avengers 1 to me. Like I don't know. I can't get enough of like old Hank Pym, Michael
He's
Douglas.
great. He's freaking great, man.
He's such a miserable old man. I love it. He's just always busting balls, and he's just, he just says what's at the top of his head. You piss him off, and he goes to punch you in the mouth. I mean, I don't know. It's just such a fun. And Luis is freaking great. His storytelling.
Yeah. Oh, let me tell you something. This is what happened.
Yeah.
All right. Then we're gonna start phase 3 with Civil War. I know you don't like Civil War for the main villain purpose. I absolutely love this freaking movie. To me, I kind of ignore Baron Zemo as a character. Now all of a sudden, Baron Zemo is like your favorite character. All of a sudden,
yeah.
I don't. To me, Tony Stark is almost the anti-villain, anti-hero villain in that movie to me. Whereas Cap is the hero and Tony is kind of like the opposite of the same coin.
It's a fun movie. I think the whole movie is basically just the airport scene. That's the best part of the movie. The narrative, like story-wise, the best part of the story is the debate of signing the protocols or whatever. But Baron Zemo just seems like just a convoluted villain. He's terrible.
Yeah, well, I would say
whether he's Baron Zemo or not, I thought he was a shitty villain.
Right. Okay.
It was a waste of screen time.
The end of I actually think I might liked the end scene more than even the tarmac scene when Tony and Cap are fighting with Bucky inside the collapsing whatever the fuck it is, castle that they're in or whatever it is. The whole "you killed my mom" thing.
Yeah.
That was like, oh boy, right in the feels, right in the nuts, man.
Still a good movie, but I have some issues with it. Doesn't mean it's not a good movie.
Doctor Strange. Love this movie. Love it. In my opinion, I like it just as much as Ant-Man. It has a big high rewatchability for me. I love the different places it goes. I feel like that movie takes place in so many different places and locations that it always seems fresh to me when I go to rewatch it. Like when I think about movies that I want to watch, and if I'm just like sitting around, dicking around on my phone, I'm like, oh, I'll just put on Doctor Strange because I feel like there's so many different set pieces and so much stuff happens in that movie that I feel like I'm always watching something fresh.
Excellent movie. One of my favorite characters.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, another movie that I think is highly underrated. I actually like it better than the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, if not for this gentleman right here, Kurt Russell, another excellent soundtrack. And I have daddy issues, so I could totally relate to what goes on with Star-Lord and what's his face? Kurt Russell. I forget the character's name.
Come on, it's got Baby Groot. It's got Baby Groot too. Come on, dancing.
Baby Groot. It's funny as hell.
It's hysterical.
It's freaking awesome. It's fun.
And Drax really came to the forefront in that movie too, man.
Yeah, that movie was a little bit more difficult for me to choose my favorite. Like in the first movie, I had my favorite. In the second movie, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know who my favorite is now.
Yeah, when Drax was like making fun of what's her name, the chick with the antennas.
Yeah, Mantis.
What's her name? Mantis. Oh my god, he's like, oh, you're hideous.
Yeah.
Just ripping on the whole
Spider-Man
movie.
Homecoming. I know you're not on a Spider-Man kick, but this is my favorite Spider-Man movie out of all of them. I absolutely love Tom Holland. Yeah, it's my favorite one out of every Spider-Man movie. Easily the best one to me.
Not better than the first Spider-Man. Really?
Yeah.
With Tobey Maguire?
I like his Spider-Man better. I like Tom Holland as way better as Spider-Man than Tobey Maguire. I like his Peter Parker better than Tobey Maguire's. I like the first Spider-Man movie the same way I like the old Batman and the old Christopher Reeve movies. Like that movie's starting to go into those categories where it's like classic fun, just a fun movie where it's like hero versus villain. It's got a great origin story. But Michael Keaton is turned a shit character into one of the best villains in the cinematic universe in the Vulture. Totally relatable, totally understood where he was coming from. I'm a union guy. I'm a blue collar worker. I kind of totally get what he was going with that whole being shut down. We've actually faced situations like that before on the job from my actual job. So I can relate to that. And I just love Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I just love his outfit more than the Tobey Maguire's outfit. I like his quippiness better. It's part of the Marvel universe. Tony Stark is in it. You get to see Iron Man fly around and do some cool shit. So I'm hook, line, and sinker with that movie. I don't think it's one of my favorite Marvel Cinematic movies, but I really like it.
Yeah, I do. I don't know what it is, man. I just don't give a shit about Spider-Man.
That's just absolutely crazy. Thor Ragnarok. Here's another movie that's divisive. Either everyone loves it or they freaking hate it. I liked Ragnarok, didn't love it. I'm in the minority. I liked it. I thought it was cool, but I wasn't in love with it the way everyone else was. Over the friggin' moon for it. Like,
I like the soundtrack. I like so they used some of Jack Kirby's like kind of like weird kind of like
yeah, the look of the movie was cool.
Designs. Hela. I thought Hela was an awesome villain. I thought that actress really did a good job.
What bothered me about that movie, even though I think it serves Thor very well, was the fact that he's they turned it into like the Marx Brothers, bro. It was like watching Abbott and Costello at one point, and I think they overdid it with the comedy, and they need to kind of peel back on that just a little bit. Black Panther, another movie I was kind of like, yeah, it was good. Didn't deserve to be nominated for an Oscar by any stretch of the imagination. I'm sorry.
I actually like Black Panther better in Civil War than his own movie.
Yeah, me too. I thought Black Panther, the movie, was good, but not great. It was
solid. Yeah, it was a good movie, but it wasn't like, Oscar nominated worthy.
That's crazy.
If you're going to do that, Winter Soldier should have been.
Exactly.
If anything.
Infinity War, fantastic. We're gonna go get into the speed round. Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm not even gonna ask you about Infinity War. We know it was great. Ant-Man and the Wasp, another underrated movie. I thought that movie was just as good as the first one.
You know, that's why, like I was saying, like Captain Marvel was gonna do shitty because Ant-Man and the Wasp kind of underperformed, and that was such a good movie. It was such a fun kind of family film, and Captain Marvel ended up doing $1 billion. But I think anyway. But it was a funny film. It was adventurous. I like the use of powers, the way they would shrink and then grow, and it was well done. I loved it.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Totally on board with you there. And then Captain Marvel, which I haven't seen, so I can't comment on.
The worst friggin' movie I've ever seen.
So you'd say you'd like that the least out of all.
It was so bad. Like I hate watched it. I just made fun of it the whole time as I watched it. And as I left, there was some little kid. He turns to his family. He goes, "That was whack." So yeah, I hated it.
All right, that's it. That's all I got for Avengers. We gotta wait for Spider-Man. Obviously, we know how we feel about Endgame. We liked it. Okay, enough of the retrospective. Someone passed away this week, Baz. Peter Mayhew, rest in peace. May Chewbacca rest in peace. He was 74 years young. He was when we walked into him at that time at the con. He was always awkward and kind of like he's been having health problems for the better part of like 20 years now.
That's another one of those guys that we always saw at the conventions and we never made time to like actually meet.
Yeah. We dropped the ball a lot.
Yeah, he's one of them because that sucks, man. He's like one of the originals,
Exactly.
So,
it was it was sad to see him go. All right, instead of sitting here and waxing poetic about his death, let's celebrate something cool about his life. What is your favorite, or give me 2 favorite Chewbacca moments?
Okay, I loved like how in Empire Strikes Back, like how he was looking out for C-3PO. And then, like, he was fighting off those little dudes trying to assemble him. It was like that whole, like, never leave a man behind. Like, he's loyal. You know what I mean?
Nice. Very cool.
And I like how he put him on his back and he took care of him. You know what I mean? So that really showed me his character. And then, of course, Force Awakens when Han bites the bullet and Chewie just flips out. He shoots freaking Kylo Ren on the side, and he starts freaking blowing up the whole place.
Yeah, that was awesome, right?
I thought that was hysterical. And and also when
that was one of mine. You took the wind out of my sails right there because that's like my favorite Chewbacca moment too. Just
and then when Leia takes off his shackles in Empire and he starts choking friggin' Lando. And he's like, "Oh, you can save him." Those are my 3.
Awesome. Good, all good choices. One of my favorite Chewbacca moments, which is just a funny comedic, small little comedic moment between him and Han when they're on the sail barge in the beginning of Jedi, and he's like, Han's like, you tell that over, C-3PO, you tell that no good filth, whatever, he'll never get no such satisfaction from us. And am I right? And he looks at Chewbacca, and Chewbacca just goes, no. like, don't speak for me, motherfucker. I'll speak for myself. Thank you very much. To me, that was just really like a very, very well written, good comedic timing. And I crack up every time I see it because it's like, dude, like, shut up.
Did you see the Iron Sheik's tweet about Chewbacca?
No, what did he do?
The Iron Sheik from the WWE tweeted out, "God bless the Chewbacca. He and Han Solo, real Jedi like me and the Nikolai. But new Star Wars Jedi, fake like Jussie Smollett and jabroni partner, the dead dog. New Star Wars movies, go fuck yourself. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far, far away."
Let me guess. Now, he's your favorite person of all time now?
Hashtag fuck the Star Wars. Yeah,
Kevin writes, no medal for the Death Star. They tried to retcon that one of the comics where the reason why he actually did get a medal, but he gave it away to like some kid on Yavin 4 or some shit. So that he, so in a comic book he gets his due. But I guess back
they thought of him like a dog. That's why.
Exactly. He's like treated like a dog. He's a second-class citizen apparently.
But he's literally like a dog, though. Except he walks around.
Yeah.
In 2/4. Yeah.
But so that scene, the Force Awakens scene where he shoots him with the blaster, obviously, Chuck, you got all the good ones, man. Trying to think of in the first movie, I'll go in the first movie when he's like,
when he goes playing chess,
like,
Let the Wookiee win.
Don't rip your arms off when they lose, and he's and he puts his hand, he does the boss pose, so that was pretty cool. So all right, rest in peace, Peter Mayhew. Hope.
What about when he meets up with Han after he gets unfrozen from the carbonite? And he's like, Luke's a Jedi. He's like, I go away for a minute and everyone gets delusions of grandeur. And he's like hugging Han and stroking his hair from behind.
I liked he had some good stuff too in the Solo movie. He had a couple of good scenes in that too. I think that like in the later movies they started giving Chewie a little bit more. I guess nowadays they're able to let him unleash a little bit and do some more shit, in the Force Awakens and these last 2 movies or 3 movies now if you count Solo. I'm sort of somebody out there. His favorite, one of their favorite moments is him eating the porgs right in front of the porgs.
But he didn't eat it though. He threw it away, right? And then he became friends with them and shit.
Yeah. So I'm sure he must have eaten one of them. Maybe he ate 1 or 2 behind.
Well, at least he did murder one of them. So.
Yes. All right.
Go Chewie, murderer of porgs.
Game of Thrones, the Battle of Winterfell. We'll keep this short and sweet. I don't know if there are any Game of Thrones fans watching right now. If there are, please leave a comment in the chat. The Battle of Winterfell fell short for me, Baz.
From the beginning, like they send out their cavalry into the darkness. They don't even see their enemy. They just send out their entire cavalry into the undead. The undead is out there in the dark. They don't even see their enemy. So, and then they get decimated. And right there, you're like, why did they do that? What the fuck is going on? And then they have 2 dragons. They don't utilize them correctly. They could have just been laying down friggin' fire, back and forth and taking out all those zombies and shit. It was stupid.
It's funny. A lot of guys at my job are like, "Oh, it was great. It was great. You're crazy. Why are you nitpicking at things?" And I'm like, I can't help but to nitpick at things when they're doing this staring contest, like when Melisandre lights the fucking. Besides everything you just mentioned, there's a lot of cool moments, but a cool moment gets its legs cut out from under it when you have something that looks really cool but makes absolutely no sense.
Yes,
it ceases to be cool. I'm sorry, like it doesn't.
That's most stuff nowadays. Cool. They sacrifice like logistics for the cool moment or what they want to happen.
The moment just stops being cool. Yeah. Like when they ran out there with the flaming swords, and they just all the swords went like you just saw them all getting snuffed out. It made
that looked cool.
Visual. That looked cool,
was
but
retarded.
It was whack.
Yeah, it was retarded. It made no sense.
You know,
so you got two dragons, and once the dead started rushing, you just take the dragons, and then you just go like back and forth. They're susceptible to fire. Dragons breathe fire. You just friggin' take them out.
They're doing this staring contest. Melisandre lights the trenches, and they're staring at each other. Maybe like what? They're maybe we want to say 50 yards from one another at this point, 25 yards from the castle, and they're doing this stare down. And then the zombies start making a land bridge with their bodies, like throwing their bodies on the fire so that the other dead could walk over those bodies so that they don't get burned, right? And then they go, man the walls. And I'm sitting there going, the fuck you mean, man the walls? They're right there.
Why wasn't anybody manning the walls already? And where was the oil?
At this point,
every castle siege you see in every freaking movie, you see them manning the walls with archers, and then there's there's people pouring over hot oil over the edge, right? And then lighting people on fire. Why wasn't that going on? Where was the oil?
Yeah, there was so many issues. Like, all right, I mentioned that, and Laura turned around and said, well, they only had like one night to technically prepare, or a couple of days, so maybe they didn't have oil. Fine. How about the fact that they're putting their main characters? See, they did a Star Wars. They did the classic George Lucas Star Wars move, right? You have the top of the castle fight going on with Brienne, and you have the castle fight, right? You got Brienne, you got Sam, and you got the Kingslayer, right? All fighting in 3 different areas, doing their thing. Then you got we lost Baz for some reason. All right, there he goes. He's back. Okay, so you have that fight going on. Then you have inside the crypts, and then you have the Arya doing her thing. So they're doing like the trifecta, right? That they do in all the Star Wars movies. They're flashing from one thing to another, right, to keep the suspense going. So they show you Sam, who's not a fighter, and Brienne and the Kingslayer, Jaime, being swarmed, literally dogpiled to where you can't see anything on the screen except for them screaming for their lives, piled on by hundreds of zombies. They cut away, and you're like, oh my God, did they just die? Then when they cut back, they're fine. They're like just like brushing themselves off, like, and it's like, yo, they were just dogpiled, both of them. Like, what? Now, these zombies aren't the type of zombies that bite you. Okay, if a zombie bites you and you turn into classic zombies, they bite you, you turn into a zombie, right? These zombies aren't just looking to bite you. These zombies can use swords, they could use daggers, they have shields and armor. So the logistics of it just don't work. If Brienne and Jaime and them were wearing armor so they couldn't bite them to hurt them, yeah, I get that. How about the swords they're carrying? How about the fucking spears they're using? How about the fact that there's hundreds of them dogpiling onto these characters and they're not being crushed under the weight of hundreds of dead bodies?
Yeah.
Like, this is Game of Thrones. This isn't D&D. This isn't like, which I also like, heroic Lord of the Rings type spectacular stuff. But that's not what this show is predicated on. And I feel like this show is completely turned direction and was like, we're going to go like appease the Fast and the Furious crowd now.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
And then what was Bran doing? The three-eyed raven. What fucking good is he?
Well, that's
why does the Night King want to kill him so bad? All he does is sit in his fucking chair.
They didn't give you anything with Bran. They didn't tell you why he was the three-eyed raven, what his tie to the Night King was, what the significance of him doing what he was doing was. It was just, there was no talking in the whole episode. So you weren't getting any real dialogue. Now, some of the characters that got their little heroic deaths, all right, that was cool. It all looked cool. Whatever. At the same time, though, I think they dropped the ball. You can't turn these characters into heroes all of a sudden, because then it loses its weight. You're like, oh my God, Brienne is being dogpiled on by these zombies. I guess she's dead. That fucking sucks. But in the Game of Thrones, you know what? Sometimes you just die. Sometimes you die off camera. Sometimes you die suddenly. And then they go back and she's fine. They're fucking fine. What?
Same thing with Jon Snow when he was trying to sneak up on the Night King, and then the Night King just raised all the dead around him, and he was surrounded by dead Jon Snow for a
And
good
fought them all off.
friggin' minute. Yeah, like he should have been dead right there. He was done.
You know, like you're not that like even if you're the greatest sword fighter ever, you're not. Don't put your heroes in a show like Game of Thrones that's predicated on trying to have as much realistic, political type, serious tone to it. Don't write your characters into that. Don't sack a cool moment. They're being dogpile. He raises the dead. Like I almost see him at the boardroom. What if he like gets to the Night King and the Night King raises the dead around him? That would make for a great visual. And then it would make no fucking sense at all.
That's the modern storytellers. They're not following George R. R. Martin's books anymore because he stopped writing them at, I think, book 6 or something. So
yeah, exactly. Well,
this is the Hollywood version of Game of Thrones.
I don't know what it is they're doing, man, but it was just stupid. It was just a stupid fucking way to do things. Sorry.
Okay, so now the Night King is dead, and now what do we have? We're gonna go fight Cersei. I mean, it seems kind of anticlimactic at this point. The whole show was like, oh, winter is coming, and now okay, well, it's done. Oh, Cersei's the big bad.
This was the big bad. This was the look. I'm more interested in Cersei's story and them anyway. But I'll meet you halfway and say these characters just survived like a 250,000 manned zombie army, and now I'm supposed to fear for their lives that they're going to meet Cersei and her.
Exactly. Cersei and what, the Greyjoys guys?
Like they should just airdrop, put Arya on a dragon, airdrop her into King's Landing, and have her just fucking kill Cersei because she's basically Batman at this point. You know,
okay,
and I don't.
Who sits at on the Iron Throne at the end of this stupid shit? It's not going to be a guy. It's not going to be Jon Snow. They're not going to give it to a dude.
Daenerys. I think
it's going to be Daenerys.
I think it's going to be Daenerys in the south and Jon Snow in the north. They're not.
And they're writing her terrible. I don't like Daenerys this season.
No, me neither.
She's
making all dumb decisions. She's making the same dumb decisions. For 7 seasons, she was like earning her badassery and her battle tactics, and she was smart, and she was the mother of dragons, and she was freeing people, and she was leading that like leader of men. In this, as soon as she got to Westeros, she just became like all the other fucking idiot kings.
Yeah, she's just like power hungry now.
Yeah,
there's no balance in her personality anymore. And then like she has this conflict with Sansa. Like she just expects Sansa to just accept her right off the bat. And it's like, what is wrong with you? Why do you have to earn that? Like, she doesn't want to have to earn it with Sansa. Why should Sansa be trusting of her? She's a fucking Targaryen. Her father was the Mad King.
Yeah.
Used to burn people. Come on. So, yeah, she's very unlikable. So, I don't want her to be, ruler now. So, I don't know. It's, this season's a little bit for me. Though I'm such a big fan, of course, I'm not going to miss a week, a week of it. But I'm looking more forward to George R. R. Martin's version of things if he ever decides to finish the series in his books.
Finish shit, bro. That motherfucker. We're 8 years now. He's been writing this one book.
I know.
Years.
And he's like probably a billionaire, and
he ain't gonna do it.
There's no motivation.
Flown the coop, bro. So
and he writes his books are 1,000 pages too. So
Battle of Winterfell, they're trying to like have on the sideshow page on Facebook, they're like, oh, what was better, the Battle of Winterfell or the Battle of Helm's Deep? And I'm like, is this even a fucking question? Are we even having this debate?
And then also it was filmed like you could barely see anything. It was very dark and shaky cam. I friggin' hate shaky cam.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they wanted to put you like I'm having this talk with Laura as we're watching. And she's like, "Oh, they want to put you in the battle." I'm like, "Yeah,
that's an excuse."
Just like in Batman Begins when they wanted to make you be in the fight with Batman, and it's like, no, these are still movies. We want to see things.
Yeah, I want to. I want to see the actual fight.
I want to actually see it. I don't want to feel like I'm there. I want to kind of feel like I'm there a little bit, and I want to see what's happening.
Yeah, because then I have to like squint my eyes and like I get disorientated and. No, it hurts my brain. Sorry.
All right, hold on. Rob Schwoll just wrote they went to the same Mary Sue school. Arya is not a Mary Sue at all, under any circumstances at all. Bazza just muted himself for a second. Arya is not a Mary Sue. She's been training for 7 seasons to become the character that she is and as badass as she is. And she was the only character, by the way, in this episode that was running and hiding from these things. They never wrote her into a corner where she was kind of hiding. Dog piled on. They didn't write the character into this ultimate badass corner where she miraculously appears and does crazy things. She was hiding. She was using battle tactics. She's basically a ninja. She's the best fighter in Westeros. How could that be? Well, she spent an entire season with the Hound. She spent an entire season in Bravos learning how to be a master assassin. She spent an entire season learning subterfuge and kind of just melding in with the crowd and kind of learning the rules of the road and the land. She spent an entire season sword fighting and learning water fighting or water dancing or whatever the hell they call it.
Dance. Yeah, didn't they make her blind too for a period of time?
Yeah, so she was blind, learned how to blind fight. This girl did everything that Batman did. She's basically Batman. But they showed you her doing it the whole time.
Yeah, she's not a Mary Sue. Come on. Stop overusing that thing and applying it to everyone. It's going to be like the boy who cried wolf. Nobody's going to take it seriously. Because there are Mary Sues. But if you call everyone a Mary Sue and they're not, then nobody's going to take it serious.
You got to understand that as we're watching the show is taking place over each season is like months. And then when the season stops and you got to wait for the next season, you got to picture in your mind that world is still kind of going on the clock. So she's still learning things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like it takes a long time to get from Winterfell to the Iron Kingdom.
I saw a clip of Jon Snow when he was trying to fight the dragon. It looks like what he was doing is trying to distract it and distract the dead, because he stands up in front of the dragon and you see him yell, "Go, go, go." And then like a few seconds later, that's when you see Arya coming out and jumping on top of the Night King.
Right, which is freaking awesome if that's the case.
So what they're saying is that Jon was using him fighting the dragon, was fighting the dragon, using that as a distraction in order for her to get the jump on the Night King. So
I wish they would have. Well, I guess they couldn't have hinted to that anymore. It took some crazy guy slowing down the internet and watching that scene probably 150 times to show.
It was a lot to take in. It was easy to miss.
All right, so that was the Battle of Winterfell, and we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens tomorrow. Yeah.
Also, I wanted to mention real quick, the studios caved at the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. The studio caved. They're redesigning the character. Not that I give a shit about Sonic the Hedgehog, but if studios start caving to fan demand, is that going to be a problem going forward, or is this a good thing, Baz?
I don't know. It depends. It really depends on the movie, on the characters.
Outcry getting things changed based off of a trailer. And I don't know, man. I'm kind of on the fence about this. I like the idea of fans being able to vote and having a say, but sometimes people don't know what's right for them. Sometimes fans tend to jump the gun and say, "No, I don't like it. I don't like it. No, I don't want it." And then they watch it and go, "Oh, I really did want this."
What if it's like a small group of people that are just making a lot of noise, and it's a horrible idea, and they listen to that group?
Exactly. So that's not cool in my opinion. That's a no-go for me. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
The movie looks like shit. It looks like a friggin' straight to DVD Blu-ray movie. Jim Carrey is so unfunny in the clip that I saw. It looks like he's doing a bad impression of himself.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't for us though. This isn't a movie for us. This is a movie for.
Who's it for?
Grayson. It's 4-year-olds, 4 and 5-year-olds. Grayson saw the.
They don't give a shit about Sonic.
And they were like, "Oh, that looks kind of cool." Well, they know from Sonic from playing Super Smash Brothers and shit like that.
Oh, okay.
Like they know all about that shit because of that stuff. All right, that's all I got for you, Baz, this week. It's 9:14. We wanted to end this on the hour and 15-minute, hour and 20-minute mark. Anything else you have to say, Mr. Amazing Larry?
What the hell is Amazing Larry? What's that?
Oh, that's from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh, thanks. This came in the mail just now. SH Figuarts Infinity War Iron Man.
Wow.
Yeah, so he has like all the
back it up.
Yeah.
Wow.
He has like all that extra the accessories that he uses when he fights Thanos.
Turn it around. Wow.
Yeah, he's awesome. So that just came in now live.
Live. That just came in now.
Yeah, I just
Oh,
got handed the box.
So you're collecting even while working. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Freaking awesome.
All right,
man.
guys. And I loved Endgame. I was just like, kind of comparing it to Infinity War a little bit. But overall, I thought it was an excellent movie.
I think it's one movie that's 5.5 hours long.
Yeah,
it really is.
Pretty much.
So,
hope I thought it was awesome.
Enjoyed it as much as we did, and I hope you guys enjoyed the beginning of your Saturday night as much as we did. Once again, there are 9 people watching right now.
Only fuck you, 9 people.
No, it's actually good because at one point we only had 2 people in the chat. So once again, we're at an awkward position now where we don't know if we were getting a lot more people at the 10 o'clock hour, and excuse me, we've been doing 8 o'clock for a while. We've been getting a much less people. Rob, I know this works for you, but I wish you can have like 500 computers with different IP set up so that we could, get all the views from you. But we may toy with changing the time again. Maybe we'll try 9 o'clock. Maybe we'll keep it at 8 o'clock for one more week, considering Avengers Endgame is out and people are still going to the movie theater to see that on the fence. So maybe next week we'll keep it for 8 and see how it goes. But we've had, ever since it turned 9 o'clock, we've had the most viewers in the chat room since about like around 10 to 9 o'clock. So we'll kind of, keep it, we don't know. And Danny says, hey, awesome, love the show. And we love you, Danny. Thanks for dropping by and writing.
Thanks for dropping by and watching us 2 idiots talk about kitty shit.
Nightmare Freddy Krueger says, I came in through a friend's Twitter link. Freaking awesome. I got to step up my Twitter game. Bazza keeps getting on me to get on with the Twitter stuff.
Yeah, man, I'm done with Facebook. They keep banning me, bro. And the bans are like freaking 28 days.
You don't have a leg to stand on with this. I watch you come back after multiple bans and then just sit there scratching my head going, what the fuck is he saying to people on Facebook? Like, why are you still doing that?
I can't help it. I get
help
so
it.
angry.
I just can't help myself.
I can't, and it's right there, and I could just say whatever the hell comes to my mind, and I lose it, and I say something really horrible.
Swallow says,
Twitter has like 12-hour bans, so I could deal with that. But it's better for like networking with if you're trying to network your business or art, if you're an artist, if you're a performer, whatever the hell, it's better for that kind of like business stuff. Facebook is more like family and friends, and it's more personal.
Yeah, true. Solo says it's 6 o'clock West Coast time, obviously where he is right now. So maybe when we go on at 8, since it's a 3-hour time difference, I guess it's 5 people are probably eating dinner around that time. I don't know. This is a work in progress, guys. We're trying to figure it out. We want to get that sweet spot. Facebook is outdated, bro. Yeah, whatever. I don't give a shit. I'm part of the old school crew. I've tried Twitter. I think Twitter annoys me because I fall into a rabbit hole of just looking at. It's like a cesspool of people I hate with comments that just piss me off. And I'm not about arguing with people. And I've tried Instagram, and Instagram to me is mad boring. Facebook to me is like I get my news from Facebook. I get updates for like what's going on in the world with pictures and video, and I get everything.
You get that from Twitter though too.
Yeah, Twitter is a whole of just people's opinions that I don't give a fuck about. Like I go on Twitter and I'm like, you're an asshole, you're an asshole, you're an asshole. I agree with you. You're an asshole, you're an asshole, and it's just an echo chamber of people shouting other people down. And I feel like every time, because I follow a lot of the intellectual dark web on my personal Twitter page. So I'm always looking at Jordan Peterson. I'm looking at guys like Ben Shapiro and Joe Rogan and all those guys, Sam Harris. So I have my personal stuff for the political stuff. And for the Red Cup Review, I follow Comicsgate guys mostly. And all I see is just people that, like, even the Comicsgate guys go way too far sometimes.
It's a lot of beef. It's a lot of beef.
I tend to agree with them more, but at the same time, I don't want to
Sometimes it's too much drama.
It's just too much. I wind up getting angry. I'm like, oh, I can't believe I just fucking read this. Like.
Yeah.
So whatever, man. But I'll figure it away. And Rob just says I stay away from everything but YouTube. Yeah, YouTube's got the yes. Rob just a fan. Twitter is poison. Yeah, it is. Rob Swallow. It's all about MySpace. I thought MySpace was much cooler than Facebook back then because it seemed like it was more fun and there was music playing and shit on everyone's page and all that. But, whatever. I guess less is more for whatever reason. People are just into themselves. Everyone wants to be the star of their own show. And we want to thank you for being with us here.
You're the star of your own show.
For where I'm, yeah, we're not Stu. This is a family here, bro.
You're the star. I'm the Ed McMahon of the show. I'm like the evil, twisted Ed McMahon.
Oh man, it's perfect. All right, gentlemen, have a good night. Go hang out with your significant others. Watch a cool movie. I'm gonna try to get
me too.
My significant other to watch Endgame. I'm probably not gonna be able to, but we'll see. If not, I'm gonna wind up watching some Cobra Kai because I'm like an episode deep into that. For the second
I got this movie called Due Date, raring to go. It's with Downey Jr. and Zach
Galifianakis.
Galifianakis.
I seen that. You ever see it?
Yeah, we're gonna watch it again.
Really funny.
Yeah. All right, guys. Have a good weekend. Have a good Saturday night.
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you.
Take it easy, fellas. We'll see you next week.
Your mother. Bye.